Welcome back to Cybersecurity Unmasked, the podcast by IT BizTech.
Glad to be back.
You know, in our last deep dive, we dug pretty deep into disaster recovery.
Always a hot topic, right?
Always a hot topic, absolutely.
Okay.
But today, we're shifting gears a bit to something that's really going to revolutionize, well, a lot of things.
Absolutely.
But including those very recovery systems we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
The world of 5G.
Exactly. 5G, it's not just about scrolling through Instagram a little faster or anything like that.
Right.
This is a complete game changer for businesses, especially as we work to implement it here at IT BizTech.
Right. And you know what? It's not just about those faster downloads. It's the backbone.
Mm-hmm.
That IT infrastructure that needs to be ready for this, well, I don't know, it's a seismic shift.
It is.
In how we do business.
For sure.
And, I got to say, when we say IT infrastructure, it doesn't always get the pulse racing.
It can sound a little dry sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, but bear with us, because we're talking about how businesses operate, how they connect, and most importantly, how they stay safe.
Yeah, security is paramount.
In this hyper-connected 5G world that we're building.
Exactly, and think about this for a second. Your office, your entire business operation, it could be anywhere. You're managing hundreds of devices seamlessly. Data's flying back and forth at warp speed, but the risks, well, they multiply exponentially in this landscape.
Yeah, and that's what we're diving into today.
Yep.
So let's start with the most obvious change.
Okay.
Speed. We're talking up to 100 times faster than 4G. I mean, what does that kind of speed even mean for a business that's trying to, keep up?
Right. So imagine uploading a massive presentation, the kind that used to take forever. Now it's done in the blink of an eye. Video calls, crystal clear, no lag, no matter how many people are on the line, and data. We're talking real-time crunching, the kind of power that can completely change how you make decisions as a business. But here's the kicker. Your current systems, they might not be ready to handle that kind of fire hose of data.
Right, so it's exciting, sure. But it's not just plug and play. Businesses need to seriously rethink their infrastructure.
Yeah.
To harness this power of 5G.
Yeah.
And, well, that's where IT BizTech comes in, right? To help businesses make that transition.
That's right. Whether it's migrating to the cloud, creating secure environments for remote teams, which, we all know is here to stay, or implementing systems that can process data in real time, these are all areas where 5G can be a complete game changer, but only if you have the right infrastructure to back it up.
Absolutely. Okay, so speed is one thing, but then there's this other term that we hear all the time, low latency. I get that it means less lag,
Right.
But break it down for us. Why should a business leader care about millisecond?
Okay, so latency it's basically the delay between an action and a response. You click a button, there's a tiny pause before something happens. With 5G, we're talking about shrinking that delay to almost nothing. I mean, fractions of a second. 1 millisecond or less. Now, that might not seem like much.
I mean, 1 millisecond, I can barely blink that fast.
Right. But in the business world, milliseconds can make all the difference. Imagine a surgeon, for instance, remotely controlling a robot during a critical procedure, or financial transactions happening instantaneously. That responsiveness, that accuracy, it's all about low latency.
Okay, I'm starting to get the picture. So if a company really wants to be part of this hyper-responsive, futuristic world, their tech needs to be up to par.
It does.
It can't be running on dial-up.
You got it. You absolutely nailed it. Upgrading that network architecture, it's mission critical. It's not just about speed. It's about making sure that low latency is maintained across all your systems and all your processes. We're building a new reality here, and your IT infrastructure needs to be ready.
And speaking of a new reality, we can't forget about the elephant in the room.
Okay.
The Internet of Things, the IoT.
Right.
It's not just about phones and laptops anymore. 5G is about connecting, well, everything. I mean, my refrigerator could be online ordering groceries without me even knowing.
Well, maybe not yet, but you're not far off. 5G is designed to handle a massive amount of devices all at once, talking to each other, sharing data. We're talking smart sensors in factories, farms that are completely connected and automated, even entire cities running on interconnected infrastructure. It's a whole new level of connectivity, and we're building the network to support it at IT BizTech.
It's amazing, but it also sounds like a potential security nightmare. More devices, more data, more entry points for hackers. How do we even begin to secure a world where everything is online?
You've hit on a crucial point there. Managing this kind of network with countless devices all talking to each other, well, It's a huge challenge from a security standpoint, and that's where we come in. We need to build security into every layer of this new world.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's bring it a little closer to home for a second.
Okay.
Remote work, it's here to stay.
For sure.
And 5G promises to make it even better.
Absolutely.
No more choppy video calls or agonizingly slow file transfers.
Yeah.
We're all about making remote work actually, work.
Absolutely. 5G is about high-quality video conferencing, transferring huge files in seconds, collaborating with teams across the globe as if they were in the same room. It's about erasing those boundaries of distance and time. But, and this is a big but,
I knew there was a but coming. What's the catch?
security. When you have a distributed workforce all connecting from different locations, potentially on unsecured networks, you're exponentially increasing your attack surface. We can't just throw people into the 5G deep end without giving them the tools and security they need to stay safe.
Okay, so we've got speed, low latency, this explosion of connected devices, and a remote workforce that's more mobile than ever. What else is 5G bringing to the table? I keep hearing this term edge computing thrown around, and to be honest, it sounds a bit like something out of Star Trek. What exactly is it?
Well, it's not science fiction, though it might sound like it. Think of it this way. Instead of all your data traveling to a far-off data center, the cloud, some of it is processed right where it's generated at the edge of the network.
So instead of a giant data center in the sky, we're talking about mini data centers. Right where the action is happening. Why is that such a big deal?
Speed and efficiency. With 5G, we're talking about massive amounts of data being generated all the time by all these connected devices. By processing that data closer to the source, you reduce latency, you make things faster, and you free up resources in those big centralized data centers. It's a game changer for certain businesses.
I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together. 5G is about speed, responsiveness, connectivity. And it's changing how and where we process data.
Yes.
But let's be honest, with all this going on, isn't this a hacker's dream?
Well, there's no denying that the risks increase with increased connectivity. More devices, faster data flow, more entry points for malicious actors. It's a challenge, but it's a challenge we're ready to face, and that's where our expertise at IT BizTech becomes even more crucial.
So what's the solution? I mean, do we just cross our fingers and hope for the best?
Definitely not. We can't just bury our heads in the sand. This is where robust security measures become absolutely essential. Think end-to-end encryption, multi-factor authentication, and intrusion detection systems that are constantly on guard 24/7.
It sounds like we need to step up our security game big time.
We do.
But 5G is still relatively new. Who knows what it'll be capable of in a few years? How do businesses even begin to build an IT infrastructure that can evolve, that can adapt?
That's the million-dollar question. The key is flexibility. We can't just build for today. We have to anticipate tomorrow. Cloud-based solutions, virtualized environments, and network slicing. These are all tools that allow businesses to adapt quickly and seamlessly to whatever the future throws at them, and that's what we're here to help businesses do.
Well, we just spent some time talking about all the amazing things, all the incredible opportunities that 5G is bringing to the table.
It's exciting stuff.
Right.
But before we jumped into that, we were talking about disaster recovery in our last episode.
Right.
It's kind of ironic how 5G is set to revolutionize those very systems that we rely on for disaster recovery.
Absolutely.
And as we transition to this 5G-powered world, it's clear that businesses can't afford to just sit back and wait.
Right.
We need to be proactive, when it comes to IT infrastructure, cybersecurity, making sure everything's up to speed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we've talked about, upgrades, enhanced security, the need for flexibility and scalability. But how do we actually put all of that into practice?
Yeah.
What can businesses actually do to get ready for this 5G future?
Well, the first step is taking a good hard look at your current IT infrastructure.
Yeah.
It's like taking inventory.
Uh-huh.
What systems are you running? How's your network holding up? Are your security protocols up to snuff?
Right.
We need to identify any weaknesses or any areas that might be, preventing you from fully harnessing the power of 5G.
So it's like a 5G checkup for your business.
Exactly.
Where do you even start with something like that? It sounds a little daunting.
It doesn't have to be.
Okay.
At IT BizTech, we offer a comprehensive IT assessment.
Okay.
It's designed specifically to evaluate 5G readiness.
Yeah.
And we look at everything from network capacity and bandwidth to security protocols and data management strategies. But it's not just about the tech. It's about understanding your business goals and how 5G can help you achieve those goals.
Yeah, right. So it's about figuring out where you are, where you want to go, and building that roadmap to get you there.
Exactly.
Okay, so speaking of getting there, Let's talk about upgrades.
Okay.
I mean, are we talking about ripping everything out and starting from scratch?
Not necessarily. It really depends on what you're already working with and what you need 5G to do for your business.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it might be as simple as upgrading your network hardware to handle that increased bandwidth and speed.
Okay.
Other times it might mean optimizing your cloud infrastructure for scalability and flexibility.
So it's a customized approach, not a one-size-fits-all solution.
Exactly.
Okay, but what about security? I mean, we've talked about the increased risks, but how do you actually beef up security in a world where everything is connected?
Well, there are a few key areas we need to focus on.
Okay.
First up, encryption.
Okay.
We need to make sure that every single bit of data traveling across the network is encrypted from end to end.
Right.
That way, even if someone manages to intercept it, they can't read it.
Right. It's like sending a secret message in a code that only the intended recipient can decipher.
Exactly.
It's encryption. Got it.
Well, next, let's talk about authentication.
Okay.
Multi-factor authentication, or MFA, it's non-negotiable these days.
No.
It's like having an extra lock on your door.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just relying on a password, you need to provide multiple forms of identification to access sensitive systems or data.
Right.
So even if a hacker steals one of your keys, they can't get in without the others.
It's like a digital deadbolt for your business.
Exactly.
I like it.
Okay.
What else is on the security checklist?
Intrusion detection and prevention systems are crucial.
Okay.
Think of them as your 247 cybersecurity guards,
Uh-huh.
constantly monitoring your network for any suspicious activity.
Okay.
If they detect anything fishy,
Wow.
they can either block it automatically or sound the alarm so we can investigate.
Okay, so we've got encryption, multi-factor authentication, and intrusion detection systems.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a pretty solid defense.
It-
Anything else we need to think about?
Well, even with the best tech in the world, human error is still a factor.
Right.
We can't forget about our employees.
Yeah, they're on the front lines every day.
They are.
And they need to be aware of the risks and know how to spot a phishing email or a suspicious link. Right?
Yeah, exactly. That's where security awareness training comes in.
It's like that old saying, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. I mean, we can have the most sophisticated security systems in place,
Right.
but if someone clicks on a malicious link, it can all come crashing down.
Absolutely. We need to make sure that our employees are empowered to be part of the security solution, not the problem.
So we've covered assessing your current infrastructure,
Yeah.
planning upgrades, implementing security measures.
Mm-hmm.
But we also talked about the need for flexibility and scalability.
Right.
How do we actually build those into an IT strategy?
Well, this is where cloud-based solutions become really powerful.
Okay.
The cloud allows you to scale your resources up or down as needed without having to invest in a ton of expensive hardware.
Right.
It's like having an on-demand IT department.
Okay.
You only pay for what you use, and you can easily adjust your resources as your business grows.
So the cloud is like having an elastic IT infrastructure
It is.
that can stretch and grow with your business.
Exactly.
And with 5G, it becomes even more powerful and accessible.
Absolutely. It's about creating an IT infrastructure that's as agile and adaptable as your business needs to be in this new 5G world.
So we talked about cloud computing, but you also mentioned something called virtualization.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
exactly is that?
Imagine taking one physical server and dividing it up into multiple virtual servers.
Okay.
That's virtualization in a nutshell.
Okay.
It lets you maximize your resources, reduce costs, and make your infrastructure more resilient. It's like having multiple backups of your IT systems.
So if one server goes down, the others can pick up the slack
Exactly.
and keep things running smoothly.
Yes,
That's pretty amazing.
it is.
Virtualization seems like a no-brainer for businesses that want to maximize their resources and ensure business continuity.
Absolutely.
What else do we need to know about building a flexible and scalable IT infrastructure for the 5G era?
Well, let's not forget network slicing.
Okay.
This is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
It's like taking a highway and dividing it into multiple lanes,
Uh-huh.
each optimized for different types of traffic.
Yep.
You can have one virtual network dedicated to high-priority applications, another for all your IoT devices, and yet another for your remote workforce.
It's about making sure that the most critical operations always have the bandwidth they need,
Exactly.
even when the network is congested.
Yes.
It's like a traffic management system for your data.
It is.
Clever.
It's going to be a game changer for businesses that are serious about leveraging the full potential of 5G?
So far, we've explored the incredible opportunities, but also the challenges that come with 5G. We've talked about upgrades, security, the need for flexibility and scalability.
Right.
It's clear that navigating this 5G landscape takes careful planning and the right expertise.
It does.
That's where IT Biz Tech comes in, right?
Absolutely. We're not just an IT support company. We're your partner in navigating this new world. We have the experience and the passion to help businesses not just survive, but thrive in the 5G era.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Cybersecurity Unmasked. Until next time, stay safe and stay connected.
Stay secure out there.
And remember, knowledge is power. The more you know, the better prepared you'll be to protect your business in this exciting new world of 5G. We'll see you next time.